the supporters channel member Tristan McDonald. Well, this is my final act on this year's non-league to legend. We've already retired or resigned from Manchester United, having won it all at club level. We take reigning world champions England into a World Cup. If we win it or lose it, I'm retiring at the end of the tournament. But I would quite like to win a World Cup with these boys we I don't remember the last time I had any kind of international football success in Football Manager. Have I ever won the World Cup in a video before? I'm not sure that I have. We won the Club World Cup for the first time recently. This might be all about the firsts. Hello and welcome to my non-league to legend World Cup bonus episodes. First one of. I'm Kev. Coming up on this episode, we'll have a quick look at the squad, then get through the 3 league or group stage matches of the World Cup and hopefully qualify for the next round and worry about everything that comes with it tomorrow. This is the squad, although more importantly, I guess this is the team. We already know a lot of them. If you've been watching non-league to legend, which I can imagine all of you must have been, surely, you'll probably recognise all, if not all, then definitely most of these names. Obviously, Jared Hasseldim is my third choice, or was my third choice keeper at Manchester United. I'm not there anymore. That's going to take some getting used to. But with Aaron Ramsdale retiring at the end of last season, there is no one else. There's Anthony Patterson, who's got 3 caps and plays for Ipswich. That's not England level. And then James Trafford, who has 0 caps and has been playing for Fulham in the Championship his entire career. So, yeah, we're very much struggling in terms of having a goalkeeper. He's going to be our weak link, but he has been playing in all of the qualifiers and friendlies. He's got 8 caps now, so hopefully not too much of a weak link. In defence, Matthew Gibbons, you will remember from Manchester United. We signed him off of Ipswich as a right back, trained him to play left back, sold him to Atletico. He can play either side. He's going to play left back. It could just as easily be Rico Lewis who goes over and plays left back. We don't really have a left back, or we do, but we're playing him on the left wing, so we don't really have a left winger. But Rico Lewis, now 30, 57 caps, still at Manchester City, can play on either side. We know all about Levi Burrows, 30 caps for him now. He's one of the best defenders in the Premier League, been a huge part of the Manchester United team that's been so important over the last 4 years. Obviously, we had him at Coventry as well. He's one of my boys. Surely I'm top of his favoured personnel. Of course I am. As his international manager now, not his manager or his former manager, his international manager. And he'll partner Malik Dalrymple, who is at Arsenal. And a lot of the defenders that we had in the squad are old. Mark Grahey and Levi Colwill both still exist, but they're well into their 30s. So we left both of them out of the squad and have gone with someone a little bit younger to partner Burrows. As much as I wanted to have a pair of Levi's at the back for England, I realised I should probably try and win the World Cup rather than do memes. In midfield, we've got Jack Hinshelwood, 30 years old, 72 caps for England now, been at Atletico for a long, long time. That's a very good Atletico team as well, where he's won lots of trophies over there. Jude Bellingham, we know all about. He's our captain, been at Real Madrid forever. We've faced him many times at Manchester United, and he partners the Manchester United captain, Joe Ireland, who at the end of last season had a little bit of a career resurgence at 25, and I think that's going to be a really important position. Also in midfield, we've got Ricky Pilbrow, who we had at Manchester United. We've got Mainu is still here. I gave him his England debut earlier this season at 30 years old. He's just leaving Manchester United, and there's a few other options in there as well. And on the left-hand side, we're going with Alan Preen, who was my backup left-back at Man United. We decided to leave Phil Foden out of the squad for the same reason we left out a lot of the other old men. But one old man we did include is former Ballon d'Or holder Bukayo Saka, 33. He's probably our third best player behind Bellingham and Ireland, and we'll start on that right-hand side. And then the late developing Ethan Ranieri up front, how a guy who is playing for Arsenal in real life at 17 can be classed as a late developer, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, he's not developed particularly late in this game even. He's 28 and already has 40 goals for England. I would say a late developer starts getting good like 26, 27. For him to already have 40 goals for England, he was probably quite good when he was 20, would be my guess, but he's in as well. Other names you might recognise around the squad, Mikey Moore, who we've used a little bit but he's a bit Spursy. Adam Wharton still exists. He's at Juventus. He's 31 now. Shea Lacey, of course, who we had at Manchester United, then went to Real Madrid. I say we've got no left wingers. Shea Lacey might be the left winger. I prefer to play him off the right, though, where he can cut in. And obviously we've got Saka out there, so he's not going to get in ahead of Saka. Archie Gray still exists. He's 29 now. Never really achieved the levels I guess people expected him to achieve before he became Spursy. I mean, he did it to himself, let's face it. And we've already mentioned Mainu, and then the rest of them are just new gens that I'll introduce you to if we need to use them. We probably ain't going to use them. So this is the team. It's the Manchester United system. The one change, we played a deep line playmaker there at United, but with Jude Bellingham, I think we need to get him involved further forward and just leave the back five to do the defending. We might even adjust the fullbacks depending on how they get on in these first couple of matches, because they are fullbacks, unless we end up playing Preen there, in which case it's a winger at fullback and it makes sense for him to continue attacking. But let's get the team submitted. With both Preen and Saka not fully match fit, expect to see Shea Lacey at some point during the match. We might even see Joe Ireland out on the wing and Pilbro coming on as well. But our group should be one we can navigate relatively easily. I thought the World Cup went weird, but it's obviously expanded even further because we're back to groups of 4 with 3 group matches to play. There's an entire alphabet. I mean, there's like 100 clubs at this World Cup. It's ridiculous. But we just need to finish top 2 in a group where there's no one else anywhere near our level. And it looks like Saka is broken 4 minutes in. He did have an injury towards the end of the Premier League season, and it was touch and go whether he'd be fit to come and join us at the World Cup. And it looks like we've broken him straight away. So this might be Shea Lacey's opportunity to establish himself with England. Saka was the big risk fitness-wise. But Mexico were also our toughest group game, so the plan was always to play him in this one and rest him in the next 2 if need be. But we might have broken him. Although, to be fair, he looks like he's recovered. So maybe it was just an early little bit of trademark Saka limping and rolling around, but he's actually fine. Are we going to take this corner, or is Saka still lying down? Oh no, Bellingham is getting ready to take it, I think. There you go. Corner comes over. Just making sure we're not on extended highlights or anything mad. We're not. There you go. Saka's fine. He walks. There's the physio. Saka's fine. Now he's going to score a worldie. No, he's going to give the ball away. Oh, and now Bellingham. No, Burrows. Burrows has picked up a yellow card. It's not been the best start for us here. Remember, this is an England team that are reigning world champions, but we did lose in the Nations League semi-final last summer. We won the 2028 Euros before I took over, but I took over off the back of a bit of a flop at the 2032 Euros. So despite being reigning world champions, it's not an all-conquering world champions England team. There's been a lot of new faces appear in the squad over the last 4 years, the likes of Gibbons, Dalrymple, Burrows, Haseldin. I mean, a lot. Ireland, Preen. There's lots of new faces compared to the team that won the World Cup 4 years ago. That was the generation that had the likes of Colwill and Grahey and Foden and Declan Rice and Ramsdale, and a lot of these players who were just at their peak or just going over their peak, won the World Cup. And now we're trying to do like the follow-up tournament with a mix of old men like Bellingham and Saka and the new generation who we don't know if they're good enough. And as is tradition for England, we don't have many of them who've got a left foot, which is just terrific. Right, Gibbons, the right back playing at left back. It's an England tradition. Ranieri's in and can't force it past the Mexican goalkeeper. It's a corner, and we know all about Levi Burrows from corners. There he is, number 6. It was a huge source of goals for Manchester United, and you can bet your bottom dollar we will be trying to exploit it with England as well. But it hasn't worked so far. But now Saka's going to try and outswinger from that side, looking for Joe Ireland, who is another big boy, but he can't get proper contact on it either, and it remains 0-0. I mean, we've comfortably been the better team. We're creating a lot of chances, but similar to what we've done with my Manchester United team over the last few years, we don't really have an out-and-out striker with England. We've got Ranieri playing up front, and he's good, but he's not an out-and-out striker. And there isn't really another one who's English. So we're kind of, I guess it's handy to a point because it's allowing us to play the way we've played at Manchester United without having an out-and-out striker, with Olunga up there doing that role as kind of an attacking midfielder who can play there, which is what Ranieri is. But I don't know. I don't know if we can win a World Cup with it. But we have just won a Champions League and 4 Premier Leagues with it, so maybe we'll be okay. I've just noticed they've got De La Torre, who we had at Manchester United, loaned him out to Cardiff for the season because he wanted game time to get to the World Cup. Looks like he got his game time and got to the World Cup, and has now got to try and get the better of his old buddy Gibbons, and Gibbons looks like he's having the better of it so far. Hinshelwood plays it forward to Saka. Saka shoots from range, and the keeper pushes it over the crossbar. We are still yet to create a really good chance, although the XG of 1.79 would suggest otherwise. Saka lining up another free kick, and this one goes over. And how long until Shea Lacey comes on so we can protect Saka, who is, I think, the oldest player in the squad at 33. Bellingham might... Who's older, Bellingham or Saka? You'll know. They're both real humans. And Dalrymple, doing a little bit of fancy, plays it forward to Ireland, who hasn't quite looked like the Joe Ireland we had at the end of the season at Manchester United just yet. Probably because he's got Bellingham alongside him, who's playing a lot more attacking than Filieri would. Maybe we need to drop Bellingham back a bit to try and get the best out of Ireland, because we know Ireland can be a proper match winner and we're not really seeing it from Bellingham. So maybe Bellingham needs to play that exact role that Filieri played, just to let Ireland have a little bit more license to go and do what we know he can do with those late bursts out of midfield. So we'll drop Bellingham back a smidgen. And now it's another corner. Saka with the outswinger, looking for Burrows. This time he does get some contact on it, but his header goes wide at the base of that near post. We're approaching that hour mark. I think we now wrap Saka in cotton wool and bring on Shea Lacey to come on and play in that exact role. Ethan Ranieri's not had a nice time either. So Mikey Moore's going to come on up front, and that will do for now. We don't want to make dozens of substitutions when we don't need to just yet, but obviously it's in our best interests to beat Mexico, because we don't know how good Poland are. They've already beaten Guinea-Bissau. Everyone should beat Guinea-Bissau. We don't want to have to go into the final game having to play a first team. We want the reserves to be in by then. Right. Marco Littlefair. Who are you, Marco Littlefair? You're at Inter. Okay, Marco Littlefair can come on for Hinshelwood. And we'll take off Lewis. And I think what we're actually going to do is bring on Ryan Flynn and just shuffle these guys around. And Flynn can go out there as a winger. And we'll do that. That works for me. Is that all 5 changes now? Have we done all 5 changes? 1, 2, 3. No, we've still got one more. Right, we'll do one more then, because we're still not winning. Right, have the English media turned on me yet? I imagine we're not far from that. Right, for my final change, I guess we probably need to throw somebody forward. Shall we? What we might do is just shuffle the midfield around. If we put Flynn up front with Moore, stick Ireland up there. We're going to take off Bellingham and bring on Pilbro and do this. So what's your best role up there? You're an advanced forward or a pressing forward, and you are a false 9. Right, well, you can be the guy who goes in behind him then. And you are going to do that. Let's try and grab a winner. Levi Burrows taking a long throw, which is weird because he's normally on the other end of them. Flynn plays it across to Gibbons, and it's an immediate goal. I'm a tactical genius. There you go. We made a tactical change. It's not even gone through yet. We should probably reverse everything we've just done. There you go. We're going to cancel the tactical changes. Oh, for goodness sake, it's going to be disallowed. No, it's given. Right. We've cancelled the tactical changes. We've still got a substitution to make, so we're still going to take off Bellingham and bring on Pilbro, but we're not going to move anyone around as a result of it now. So that's better. Look at the state of the match stats. We are going to struggle with this lack of a striker, I think. Even though Ranieri has 40 goals for England, he's just not a striker. And we've seen it today. He can't really play that lone striker role. which is potentially going to be problematic. But we've won our first game. That's the important thing. If we beat Poland, we're through. We don't need to worry. We can worry about play. You don't need to play good football to win the World Cup. You just need to win your matches. That's the important thing. Right, we're shuffling a little bit for the Poland game. Lacey's going to come in on the left-hand side to form that front three with Ranieri and Saka. Pilbro comes in midfield. Bellingham drops out of the team. It allows me to play Ireland in a role I know we're going to get the best out of them, because that combination works. And also Ireland can be captain, although he's definitely going to have to sit out the next game because he's tired, and you can't rest players at international tournaments still, which is so stupid. Preen drops back to left back, Gibbons goes over to right back, and we've brought in Kenneth Thomas, who's a 22-year-old Man City youngster who spent this season on loan with Wolves in the Championship, so hasn't played a Premier League game for over a year. He's starting for England at the back at the World Cup. Maybe we should have brought one of Colwill or Gray with us. It's going to be fine. We're making a star at centre-back. It will be fine. I mean, Haseldin hasn't played a game of Premier League football in 8 years, so not playing in the Premier League isn't necessarily a problem. The Championship's as good as La Liga, isn't it? English football, the best. Right. If we beat Poland, we're through. That's the important thing. And there is Thomas getting some time on the ball. A few nice touches, which is very important for him. And Pilbro back to Burrows. We've got a good Manchester United core of this team. And we just needed to convince somebody that Charles Olunga was English, and then we wouldn't have a problem. Right, Pilbro, again, dancing forward from midfield. See, this is what we get from him that we don't get from Bellingham. This is good stuff. Pilbro to Saka. Saka across to Ranieri, and he hits the crossbar. But Shea Lacey is there to follow up, who had a fantastic season for Real Madrid. I mean, obviously, 2 years ago with them, he won the Champions League against us. This season just gone, 15 goals and assists, 7.4. Look at his average rating since going to Real Madrid. He's been there a year and a half. He's one of their best players. Weirdly, he didn't play against us in either of the semi-final legs of the Champions League. So I don't know if he's just stat padding against the likes of Tenerife, but he's probably better there than Preen, who was playing at left back for Real Madrid behind him. And they were both Manchester United reserves, but I think we've got to accept this England squad is nowhere near as good as my Manchester United squad, because we've got a bunch of Manchester United reserves in it. The likes of Haseldin and Mainu and Gibbons and Preen and Lacey, Pilbro. They're all Manchester United reserves. It's only really Burrows and Ireland. Even Burrows doesn't start every game for United. It's only really Ireland who is a regular. Right, let's do a goal here. It's Saka with another corner. I don't know why we're doing so many of these outswingers. I know Saka hits a good corner, but the key to getting a goal out of Burrows is an in-swinger, and they are on an instruction to do the in-swingers. So I'm a little bit worried we haven't got anyone else who can hit a corner. But there is Ethan Ranieri. I think he's offside. Is that goal number 41 in an England shirt for him? We've gone to VAR. It would be very handy if it was. It's been disallowed. Much sense. I mean, he looked like a striker there, though, didn't he? But has he got himself offside? I mean, not really. That is controversial. It's borderline and it's controversial. I'm not amused. De La Torre scored twice for Mexico as they beat Guinea-Bissau, but it's now Poland on the attack. Thomas heads the ball up into the air after Ireland's clearance, and it's still Poland hovering around on the edge of our area, knowing they're in the same situation as us. If they win this game, they're through. So they're going to be keen to win as well. And this is great work from Ranieri. Look at the pace he's got. Charging forward. Wonderful stuff. Plays it across to Shea Lacey. That was brilliant from Ranieri. And Lacey is there with the finish. My boy, Shea Lacey, I made him by selling him. It's 1-0 to England. And perhaps this is how we're going to win the World Cup. Grinding out 1-0s in matches where we create lots but don't really finish very much. I mean, that was a lovely goal, lovely counter-attacking football, and now we need to look to rest the tired legs again. So I think, especially if we score here, ideally we score here and we can take off Ireland, and we didn't score. But oh my word, 5'3" Pilbro won a header, and then Preen hits the post from about 1,000 miles away, and we've got a corner on the other side, and it's going to be Saka to take. He's another one who's probably about to come off. We've got to try and manage fitness. It's going to be the reserves out against Guinea-Bissau if we win this game. It's why it's so important to qualify early. But yeah, Ireland is tiring, so he's going to come off for Bellingham, and we'll get those two together in midfield. I think we'll do them that way around and let Pilbro be the one who dances forward a bit. And then we're going to protect Saka again. Mikey Moore can come on over that side. He's a right footer, so we might actually just switch them around like that, make him an inside forward, and he can be an inverted winger, which is the position I prefer him in. And then we'll give it 10 minutes, and I think we have to take off Levi Burrows because he's the only elite defender that we've got, really. So we probably need to protect him. But I would quite like another goal first. Hinshelwood plays it forward to Onyeri. And there you go. I'm being told to take off Burrows because he's also on the verge of accumulating a yellow card. I would be inclined to say, get the yellow card. Be suspended against Guinea-Bissau. And it's less of a worry going into the knockouts then. So in real life, I'm telling him to just kick the ball away or something, get a yellow card, and then we'll immediately substitute him and he can have a week off before the knockout rounds start. But that's not an instruction we can give in Football Manager, much to my frustration. Right, Ireland drifting out onto this left-hand side. Did Joe Ireland always have a beard? Cross comes in, looking for Saka, who is there with the second goal. And a bearded Joe Ireland with a lovely deep cross. Bukayo Saka is there to score. I don't even know what goal that is in his England career. He's played over 100 England times. That's what we call it. He's played over 100 times for England and probably scored quite a lot of goals in that time as well. And that was his last touch before being taken off. So we're not going to worry about his goal total. Bellingham's going to hit an in-swinger, looking for Burrows, finds him. That can be Burrows' final touch. Let's protect him. So Saka has now got 51 goals for England, but we are going to take off Burrows and Gibbons here. So Lewis can come on at right back. And then for Burrows, we'll bring on Stephen Young, who is a player I was aware of at United. He's at Borussia Dortmund. He's also passed through Barcelona. He's someone I considered signing a couple of times. So he's actually probably someone who should be starting at centre-back for us. So we'll keep an eye on him. But he can see out this game. We've got one more substitution to use. We'll use it with about 15 minutes to go, I guess. Again, trying to keep key players fit. I guess Hinshelwood is another key player, or Onyeri. Either of them could come off here. I think we probably take off Hinshelwood, and Littlefair can come on again and see out the game. We're going to drop a little bit of praise. We've played very well here. We've qualified for the knockout rounds. Bellingham with the in-swinger. Thomas is there, can't get a proper contact. And 10 minutes to go, and just see the game out, gentlemen. Give Haseldin a touch. He's not had a touch in either of the first two games, really. Let him have a kick of the ball. He's going to get a World Cup winners medal without touching the ball. That would be an interesting thing. I thought we were giving it to Haseldin there, but it's Young at the back, plays it forward to Littlefair, and now Bellingham forward to Lacey, the two Real Madrid boys combining, and Ricky Pilbrow with the audacious effort from range was never really going to test the goalkeeper, but the follow-up move has led to a corner. It's going to be Bellingham looking to hit an in-swinger again. We don't have Burrows to aim for anymore, but Thomas and Young were both loading that far post, and now Moore trying to drill it back across, and it is yet another corner. If we could start being as effective with the corners as my Manchester United team is, this would be quite handy, the amount of corners we're getting, but we're not really. Lacey into Thomas, and again, we need Burrows on if we're going to have all these corners. Lacey's offside there, and let's see the game out, chaps. I'm not going to show you the Guinea-Bissau games. We're already qualified, so we'll come back tomorrow for the first knockout round against whoever that is. Assuming this doesn't all fall apart for me. Haseldin still not getting a touch there, I'd like to point out. Obviously, he will have taken the goal kick, but he's not had a touch on camera, and that's important. We want to do the entire World Cup without Haseldin having to touch the ball in a highlight. And then we know it's been a good World Cup. It'd also be a great trivia question. Who was England's goalkeeper when they won the 2034 World Cup? And everyone has to try and remember Man United's third choice keeper who didn't really have any memorable moments at the tournament. It would be phenomenal. Right, Bellingham to Lewis, and now Lacey back to Young. And I thought he was going to play it back to Haseldin there. That would have been a disaster. Forward! Don't ruin my fun! Young plays it forward to Lewis. There you go. We're back in the right half. And now Lacey playing it across, looking for Pilbrow. Can't find him. Bellingham crunching into midfield, though. And now Lacey again plays it over the top to Onyeri, who, he's looked lively, but this will be two games where he still hasn't scored. So it's not ideal for our only striker that we've really got in the squad. I guess Mikey Moore, but he's Spursy, isn't he? Well, what's the point of him? And there is Moore. Is he going to score? No. Onyeri is. No, he's not. And that's surely the end of the match. We've had so many highlights in this match. And there we have it. Confirmation should be there in a second that we're qualified and we can stick the reserves out in the final group game. And I will see you tomorrow. Does that confirm it? Is it confirmed? How is it not confirmed? So if we lose to Guinea-Bissau, is it on goal difference? I thought it was on head-to-head and we've beaten both of them. We're basically through anyway. We're not losing to Guinea-Bissau. I'll see you tomorrow. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.